Hello everybody, welcome back to the session. Myself Saraswati, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Science and Engineering, MIT, Mysore. Today I am here to teach you the guidelines by Planning Commission for project report. Here the Planning Commission of India has given the guidelines for preparing the project report. Let us have a look into the summary in detail. The first one is general information. So here it includes the analysis of the industry to which the project belongs, whether the project belongs to a banking system or whether the project belongs to the manufacturing of equipments or the manufacturing of building materials which are needed by the consumers, or whether it belongs to the restaurant and so on. So complete details regarding to which the project belongs to needs to be provided here, and also it has to give the description related with the priorities of the industries, and also whatever the past performance the industry is going to have, and how they are going to increase the production, what is the role of the public sector where the where the company has been established, and also what are the type of technology they will be using, how they are allocating the funds in order to perform or in order to carry out various tasks within the organization. That is, allocation of fund details needs to be specified in the project report, and also different information regarding the enterprise needs to be specified or given in the general information. The next one is preliminary analysis. Second one is preliminary analysis of the alternatives. So here the entrepreneur has to provide the complete details regarding the gap and the supply position for a specific product in the market. So here what are the proposed products of the organization needs to be specified, along with whatever the availability of capacity they will be having within the organization, and also they have to provide a list of all existing products or whatever the plans they are currently carrying out needs to be specified, and also they have to provide the list of the proposed plans the industry is going to have needs to be presented under this project report under the title called as preliminary analysis of the alternatives. So let us move on to the third one, that is project description. So under this project description, they have to prepare a feasibility report which should contain the description of the technology or the process they are going to use for the project they are going to start up with, and also when they have selected the location in order to carry out their business, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of the location needs to be specified. In terms, we can generally say that the pros and cons of the location which has been selected to carry out the project by the entrepreneur needs to be specified here, and also whatever the plans, means what are the different ranges of products they want to develop within their organization, that needs to be provided here, and also the population in the area where the project has been initiated needs to be specified, and also what are the different types of resources like water, power supply and so on information, along with how much pollution they are going to create with the project they want to carry out, and how they are going to control the pollution generated by the project so that they have to give a clear environment to the people who are living in the location where the organization has been set up. So whatever the environmental problems the organization is going to develop, so how it is going to control all the pollution related to the environment, they have to specify under the project description. Then the next one is marketing plan. So here they have to provide the complete details regarding the marketing plans. Here they have to collect directly the information regarding whatever the product the consumer wants to have, right? So here they have to do the survey by communicating directly with the consumer who are going to use the company's product in future. So what is the current demand of the particular product and what is the target price needs to be specified, and also they have to give the complete details regarding how they are going to promote, that is how the organization, when they have come up with a new product, are going to do the promotion of the product to the consumer is need to be specified under the marketing plan of the organization. So where they are going to make use of different strategies in order to market their particular product developed within the organization. So let us have a look into the next one, that is capital requirements and costs. In the project report, they have to provide information regarding the capital requirement and cost. It means nothing but what is the amount or the finance they are in need of in order to operate the firm. With breakups, they have to give the information under the title called as capital requirement and costs. That means that how much money is needed for the organization in order to purchase the land, in order to build the area where it is going to have a physical structure for the organization. So what is the area that is going to be used to build the plant where the production process is going to be carried out, and so on. So for this particular type of information, so they have to specify how much finance or the capital they are required in order to operate the firm. So with breakups, they have to provide the information under the heading called as capital requirements and costs. So let us have a look into the sixth one, that is operating requirements let us have a look into the difference between the capital requirement and cost along with the operating requirement and cost. So when we are going to think about capital requirement and cost, it is nothing but the finance which is needed to operate the firm. Then what about operating requirements and cost? So it is nothing but the cost for commercial production, right? So it is going to be referred as operational cost. That is, after the commencement of the project, how much money or finance or capital is needed by the organization in order to carry out the day-to-day operations within the organization. So here, in order to do the production of any particular product, the organization is in need of raw materials. So how much money or what is the cost of the raw materials which is going to be used during the manufacturing process needs to be specified. In case if the organization is going to use different types of fuels, what is the cost of the fuels used by the organization needs to be specified, right? So if it is for future, how much money is needed in order to consume the fuel during the manufacturing process needs to be provided here. And also various people are going to work in the task, in different types of tasks. So what is the salary that is going to be given to the employees who have been hired in order to perform a specific task. So what is the salary, total salary to all the different types of employees who will be working in the organization needs to be specified under operational requirements and costs. Means usually in the manufacturing field, they are going to make use of different types of equipments and machines. Sometimes the machines or the equipments is going to get failed. In that particular situation, whatever the repair cost and maintenance cost of each and every equipment that is going to be used during the manufacturing process along with the machines needs to be specified here, right? When they have finished the product, so what is the expense they are going to have while selling the product to the consumer or while marketing. It means that marketing is nothing but they have to promote what kind of product the company has developed, has come up with, and how it can be used by the consumer, what is the advantage, what is the quality, everything needs to be promoted to the consumer, right? So then only consumer is going to get an awareness about the company's product and try to will, means they may will to buy the company's product. So in order to promote the products developed by the organization, they have to do advertising, right? So how much money has been spent by the organization, or it is going to be, the organization is going to be spending the money for advertising the company's product. So all these kind of information along with the transportation, that is in order to sell the products, once the organization is having the finished goods, that needs to be transported or transferred to the distributor and from the distributor to the consumer, right? So what is the transportation cost they are going to spend here or they are going to make here needs to be specified. If they have taken any kind of debt in order to perform the operation of the organization, so how much interest they might be paying, right? So what is the cost burden or the interest burden, if any, needs to be included under operating requirements and costs. So in order to perform the day-to-day operations, whatever the resources that is needed by the organization, how much money they are in need of in order to carry out the operations within the organization needs to be completely specified under the heading called as operating requirements and cost. Let us have a look into the next one, that is the seventh one is nothing but financial analysis. This is also needs to be included in the project report. So here they have to give the information, that is financial analysis includes balance sheets. So balance sheets are nothing but the company's assets and liabilities needs to be provided under the balance sheet. So here some of the assets which may belong to the organization may be the fixed assets the organization may be having in the form of land, building, equipments and so on, that is going to be specified in the balance sheet under the heading assets. Liabilities, that is whatever the payments the organization is going to pay, it may be the income tax paid by the organization and also the different types of liabilities, like if they have taken debt from any of the banking sector in order to run the firm, in that particular situation how much interest they are paying. So that is going to be considered as one of the liabilities, right? So how much money they are going to pay for the employees who will be working in the organization. So whatever the payment that the organization is going to do to others, everything needs to be specified under the heading called as liabilities. And also under the balance sheet, it should include whatever the income the organization is having along with the complete expenditure the organization is going to make needs to be provided under the balance sheet. So here financial analysis includes first one balance sheet, so where the company's assets liabilities along with income, that is what is the profit that they are going to make by selling the company's product to the consumer, and also whatever the expenditure that the organization is making in order to purchase different types of materials that is needed in order to manufacture a particular product, or if it is a service providing company, so what kind of service it is providing, so how much expenditure it is doing, every kind of information needs to be specified under the column expenditure. So it also includes it also specify the income tax rebate. If it is if the organization is getting any kind of rebate for paying the income tax, that also needs to be specified in the project report. So not only this, it is going to also specify the incentives for backward areas, that is government is going to provide some kind of incentives to the organization or to the owner of the organization in order to start up some of the business, that is it is going to give the incentives to the entrepreneur who wants to come up with the business sector, that is while purchasing the land some of the incentives may be given, right. So in order to make the sales tax by the entrepreneur, some kind of a rebate might have been also obtained by the entrepreneur while doing the business. All these kinds of facilities which has been used by the organization has to be specified in the project report under the incentives for the backward areas, that is government is going to issue some amount, that is it is going to provide the land to the entrepreneur to run the business sector at lower price, and also it is going to provide assistance, or it is going to provide some incentives while they are going to purchase the equipments or the machineries needed in order to run the business or in order to run the production unit. So all these kind of information is going to be included under the heading called as financial analysis. Let us have a look into the next one, that is economic analysis. So the next one is economic analysis. So here the social profitable analysis needs to be made, like foreign trade and direct cost and so on can be included here. So if the organization is going to import some of the materials which is needed during the production, and also when it wants to export the company's product to outside or different countries, in that particular situation, so they have to specify the foreign trade information under the economic analysis. So here they also need to specify the direct cost that is going to be tied with the production while developing a specific product. In order to develop or manufacture a specific product, the organization is in need of different types of materials, that is it is going to make use of different types of materials, men and also the equipments and the machineries and so on. So what is the cost incurred during the production process? So everything needs to be specified under economic analysis. The next one is miscellaneous aspect. So here depending upon the nature and size of the organization, any additional information if the entrepreneur wants to specify in the project report, so here they can provide the relevant information related to the project under the section miscellaneous aspect. So let us have a look into the summarization of guidelines by Planning Commission of India in order to give the project report by the entrepreneur about their organization. So here they have to provide the general information which states that they have to give the complete description regarding the project to which it belongs to. That is, if the organization wants to carry out the banking business, right? So whether it wants to do the commercial banking or investment banking, the complete details like that has to be provided. If it is a restaurant, what kind of restaurant it is, and if it is a hospital, for whom it is going to be useful, complete description about the project it belongs to needs to be provided under the general information. Along with that, how they are going to allocate the fund for performing various tasks. So those kind of information needs to be specified under general information. So when it comes to the preliminary analysis of the alternatives, so every organization has to understand the gap and the supply, right, and also the demand for a specific product or the service. So based on that, they have to come across with the alternatives they might be planning for the current or for the future plans. Along with that, they have to provide the complete description regarding the project. Then what are the marketing strategies or planning they will be having needs to be specified here. So how they are going to promote the product or the service which the organization wills to give to the consumer needs to be provided here, right? And the capital requirement in order to operate the firm, operating requirement and cost after the commencement of the project. So various kinds of operations is going to be performed within the organization. For that, how much amount is needed needs to be specified. Then financial analysis, it has to provide the complete assets of the organization, what are the different types of liabilities, income, along with the expenditure needs to be specified under the balance sheet, followed by if they are getting any kind of rebate while paying the income tax to the government. So they have to mention it, why and how, right? So incentives for backward areas, if they have obtained some kind of incentives or support from the government while purchasing the land, equipments, machineries, plants and so on. So all those kind of information needs to be provided under financial analysis. So when it comes to the economic analysis, so here they have to provide whatever the means the information regarding the foreign trade and the direct cost which is going to be incurred while doing the production of the product. Then miscellaneous aspect is nothing but if the entrepreneur wishes to have or to provide additional information regarding the project, so they can provide or mention under the heading called as miscellaneous aspect. Let us move on to the next topic called as ERP. So what is this ERP is all about? So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So in short, we can write it as ERP. E has been taken from the enterprise, R from resource and P from planning. So what is this Enterprise Resource Planning is all about? So let us have a look into the meaning of Enterprise Resource Planning. When we want to look into the meaning of enterprise resource planning, we can say that today's business organizations are complex systems in which various functions such as human resource, finance, production, distribution, sales and so on are the different departments who are going to work together in order to achieve the goals of the organization. when different departments are going to work together in order to achieve the goal of the organization, they are going to generate huge amount of data. That means each department is going to generate huge amount of data that may be required by their own department, or it may be also required by some other department. Then how it is going to be distributed among different departments if the information related to any department is needed by the other department. So for that, here the business sectors are going to make use of ERP, that is Enterprise Resource Planning. It is nothing but a software which is going to integrate all the information which belongs to organization. It means that all the information is going to be available in or under one computer platform, and henceforth ERP is going to be called as a software which helps the organization to integrate all the functions carried out by different departments on the same computer platform, right. So here it is going to help the decision maker in order to take up quick decision. It means that when complete information related to the organization is available in one computer platform, it can be used by any person within the organization and by the decision maker. So here if it is used by the decision maker, so in order to take up the quick decision, this kind of information is going to be helpful, right. So what is the purpose, or what is the purpose of this particular ERP is nothing but it helps to integrate the complete information related to the different departments, so that it is going to be available for each and everyone who will be working in the organization. It is going to helpful in order to make smarter decisions. It is going to help in serving the customers in a better manner, and also it helps to work more efficiently by automating the processes as well as the workflow of the organization. So let us have a look into the importance of the ERP, right. So for this we can take up or I can write up a small diagram. So this is the ERP system where all the information related to the organization is going to be made available. So here let us have a look into the different departments which may be existing in the organization. So here let us take up an example of various departments which may exist in the organization. When we have different types of departments within the organization, how ERP is going to help us, because it is a software where it is going to be used in order to keep all the information related to the different departments, so that it is going to be available at one computer platform, right. So there will be a finance department. what is the roles which is going to be carried out by the finance department. So here usually they are going to maintain the general ledger, where the complete financial information related to the organization is going to be maintained in a general ledger, right? And also they are going to maintain the cash, that is cash management made within the organization is going to be maintained. So that also is going to be maintained by the financial department, and also whatever the accounts that is going to be payable by the organization, or some of the accounts which is going to be receivable from others by the organization. So these kind of details are going to be present in the financial department. So all those kind of information is going to be loaded into one computer platform. So when it comes to human resource, so HR is nothing but human resource department, where they are going to look into the employees of different department, means how many number of employees who will be currently working in the organization, and if any particular department is in need of some more additional employees, they have to keep track with the different departments in order to hire and recruit and make the selection of the employees or new employees into different departments. So this is the role which is going to be played by the human resource department. Logistic management, that is nothing but movement of the materials from its origin to different position, different places. It means that when the raw materials are needed during the manufacturing process, the raw materials from its origin is going to be moved to the manufacturing department. Once the manufacturing department is going to come up with the finished good, that needs to be moved into the data warehouse, and then from there to the distributor, and from the distributor to the consumers or the customers, we can call it as. So all those kind of information is going to be maintained by the logistics management. Then maintenance and management, there will be a department, so where they have to maintain the different types of resources which are available. That is, if the manufacturing unit is making use of different types of equipments and machineries, so how they are going to maintain the repair, or when the machine or the equipment is going to break down, so how they are going to maintain the manufacturing process or the equipments or the machinery, those kind of information is going to be maintained by the maintenance and management. When it comes to sales and distribution, so here this particular department is whole and solely responsible to take the orders from the consumers, and how it is going to distribute the orders or the product company's products based on the orders taken by the or from the customer. It is going to finally distribute the products to the required customers. So those kind of information is going to be maintained by the sales and distribution department. So when it comes to the quality management, here we know that if it is a manufacturing department, so it is going to be in need of different types of raw materials. When the raw materials have been supplied by the supplier to the organization, they are going to check, that is quality management department is going to check the quality of raw materials they have received from the supplier. Likewise, once the manufacturing manufacturing a product gets completed, so they are also going to check the quality of the product manufactured within the organization. So this is the role played by the quality management, and all those information is going to be maintained by this particular department. That information also can be stored in the ERP systems. Then material management. So how much of raw materials is required during the production process. So for a particular period of time, what is the amount of materials that is needed, or various types of materials that is going to be used within the organization, right? So they are going to manage the different types of materials, not only during the production process but also for the whole organization they are going to maintain. Then when it comes to manufacturing department, so here they are going to have information how much resources they are in need of, whether it could be the raw materials or the men or the people who will be used in order to carry out the production process, and different types of materials or the equipments along with the machines, along with the fuel consumption, power supply, water supply, every details is going to be maintained by the manufacturing department, and also how many units in a particular period or in a particular day they have generated. All those kind of information is going to be managed by the manufacturing department. That also is going to be stored in the ERP system. Then when it comes to strategic and operating plan, so what is this strategic plan is all about, right? So here it is going to help the organization in order to plan for a long term, right? So operational plan is going to help to fulfill the long term plan of the organization. So whatever the plans in long term the organization is going to be having, so that is going to be maintained, along with how it is going to support the long term plan is nothing but the operational plan. So all the different department information is going to be maintained in a software called as enterprise resource planning, so that complete industry or the organization or business sector information is going to be available at a single place, and it can be used by any other departments for any particular purposes within the organization or by the decision maker in order to make a smarter and quick decision. So this is how the enterprise resource planning is going to help within the organization. Then who are all the people who will be using the enterprise resource planning? So it is going to be used in any educational institution, in hospitals, in restaurants, right, in lodges, like that. Different types of organizations is going to be used, is going to use this ERP software in order to store the complete information related to their business sector. I will stop at this point of time. I will be continuing it in the next class. Thank you.